YouTube, it is I, Sakarma, coming to you a little 1v1 action out of total Brohammer here. It is I, headed of the Norsca here with Wulfric against Hubert J. Farnsworth and the Wood Elves. So, I think we're going to be, you'll probably see this video near the end of our faction focus of the Empire. This will be going on for a week, of course, but I want to bring you a few, different videos. I think John's going to be mainly doing the Empire, but I'm going to try and bring you guys some other stuff. Just to, keep up the variety. I mean, Empire's fun, and especially right now because they're so hard to play, it's always exciting to watch them, but we want to see a little bit of everything, and I have a lot of videos spooled up here, so it's not too bad. So let's see what I brought here in my build. I have a Marauder Horseman with some Norsca Ice Wolves on the right flank. I have, I think, the same thing on the left flank, except one is the Beasts of Tashnar, because they do get that bonus versus large. I'm not sure if it's really worth it. What is the bonus versus large? So let's compare these stats. So 26, 19, 42, of course, they do apply Frostbite, which is huge. These guys have 40. Oh, yeah, so it definitely is worth it. What are they being? Oh, because they have Frenzy. Oh, yeah, so certainly. Put that for. Oh, yeah, so they're going to be they'll actually be very, very good against Wild Riders, because they'll do 54 melee attack with 38 armor, well, not armor piercing. We don't need armor piercing. 38 weapon damage. I think they're faster as well. No, they're not. They're the same speed. Unfortunately, they do not apply Frostbite, and they have a little bit less health with R60 models. So yeah, not a bad unit. And they're immune to psychology because of Frenzy. That makes sense. So yeah, maybe they do have a place in this matchup. So I have some Marauder Horsemen, like I said, on both sides. We've got the Boots of the Hound, very, very good unit. Marauder Spearmen, Balefiend of Shadows, who I always manage to... First of all, I always call Familiar Warriors, Familiar Balefiends, and I always manage to get these guys killed, so they're a tricky unit for me. I guess I have some deep-seated hatred, some racism towards the Balefiends. I've got some Marauder Berserkers over here, some more Spearmen, and then the fronts are some Marauders and Spearmen. So very, very wide army, and then of course I brought Wulfric on foot. Why on foot, you ask? Oh, these are Marauder Champions, rather, not Marauders. Some of them are Marauder Champions. So I brought a couple of Marauder Champions, maybe 3. Yeah, we'll check that out. And of course I brought him on foot because he has a silver shield, and I didn't want to get sniped. If you bring him on anything larger than that, he'll probably get sniped, and he'll be easy to kill, and of course he does not have healing. And I didn't want to bring Throg, because Throg's a little slow, and they could bring Glade Fire Shafts. Starfire Shafts, which do apply fire. So that's my army. So I got really wide, a lot of heavy infantry, Marauder Champions, so 2 of them. 2 of them. So that's my army. Meanwhile, my opponent here has brought a Dragon on a Glade Lord. 3 Deepwood Scouts, interesting pick. Just all over the place with some Wild Riders on each flank. Some Eternal Guard to bolster their army. Some War Dancers who do well against Berserkers, even though you wouldn't think they would. They do well against Berserkers. He has brought the Wardens of Sithril. A good unit in most matchups. I've had success with them in some, and not successful in others. I thought they'd be much better because they do, I think, apply Armor Sundering. They have crazy high stats. They do anti-large. They have Silver Shields. There's a lot to love about them, but I've just never... I don't know. Maybe in this matchup they do well. Like I said, I've had mixed results with them. They're not bad by any means. They're still a very good unit, but I just haven't been able to use them as effectively as I feel I should be able to. And then, of course, the Spell Slinger of Life. So let's get right into the battle here. So my point here is a very rushy build. It's just trying to go balls to the wall. These guys are meant to lock down Wild Riders, and these guys are meant to throw spears into them, and then if I can get them hit, and of course while they're being frostbitten, you can use these Marauder Berserkers to help do damage. Something else worth noting is that if you countercharge them with Berserkers, it actually does a good bit of damage. So I'm going to pull back a little bit, and then I'm going to charge right in here. You're going to see it does a good bit of damage on the countercharge. Yeah, see, they took, yeah, as they're running around, so they took, if we look at that, they took about the same amount of damage. They lost, obviously, more models, but you can see here, it's pretty comparable. Of course, they can be healed for their magic, but still, you don't want to be seeing losses like that, and they're going to lose another model there. So, it's really, you don't want to be charging straight up Wild Riders into Berserkers, just because their counter charge is just so devastating, and their weapon strength is so high, and they have such little armor. It's something I've noticed when I played in this matchup, something you really want to pay attention to, because you think, oh yeah, easy free kills on these guys with no armor, but because they're so devastating in their own right in terms of melee attack and melee damage, it really makes it kind of a prohibitive move to sort of attack them straight on, because they've lost so many models, and I have not, and they're of course more expensive, and they need them more than I need my Marauder Berserkers. So yeah, not the best move, but it's something I didn't realize until something I had to learn myself. So just a good thing to watch out for in this matchup. Meanwhile, he is going to start shooting these Boots of the Hounds, are doing tons of damage. I start pulling them back, but I want to try and, because I'm trying to get these guys. I'm wary of wasting my Beasts of Tashnar and all these guys, because there's a lot of things in the back here, and of course a dragon can help out, but now we're sort of charging through. We don't want to get these guys fighting these War Dancers or these Spearmen, so we're going to pull them back, and now we've been able to push back his Wild Riders, and this flank is going pretty well for us in that we're about to engage with them. Meanwhile, this flank is a little bit more dangerous because there are a lot of archers. I could have caught these guys with the Beasts of Tashnar, but I decided to try and eliminate these Wild Riders with the Beasts of Tashnar, and I'm going to send everything else after them. because my infantry is almost there. My Bale Fiend is going to be up in this business. He's going to be okay. He's able to outrun me, surprisingly, but we are going to catch him, and once we do, it's going to be not good for him, because these are, yeah, that's a good charge with the Beast of Tashnar, and of course they cost about half, and they're doing good damage back, and then mix the Norsca Ice Wolves in there, we should be able to bring them down, not to mention we're throwing spears. They are shooting my guys, though. We're getting a nice Pendulum Penetra on these guys, do some decent damage, not as much as I would have liked, probably should have waited, but that's okay. I'm going to keep pushing on these guys. The Boots of the Hound are going to get in here and probably kill the Warrens of Sithril. I don't know, it's going to be a close fight for sure. On this flank, though, things are going well. Like, it's a nice breath attack, does some good damage on this blob, but we've surrounded them. They're just going to they're going to crumble. That's going to be it for them. We're going to be throwing some spears into this dragon, just doing some good damage here. He's been able to... Oh, we're going to see a Sea Fang here come right through. Yeah, so it does a ton of damage on these War Dancers, which is big, and to help us push that flank open. Wolfric's coming in, trying to do some damage. This Bale Fiend's going to be lowering these guys' armor, which is going to make these guys even better. He's going to try and shoot Wolfric, but of course that's Silver Shield, so this is exactly what I was afraid of, but with that Silver Shield he's going to be very effective, and he has very high armor at 100, so, well, not very high, but high enough, so that's quite good. We are in the back lines, and getting to his, he was able to stabilize these Wild Riders, unfortunately, but we are in the back lines with some Wolves, but he's going to bring his Dragon here and try and protect his Deepwood Scouts, but we're going to keep pushing, Wolfric's no longer bound. On the right flank, it's a total rout. We've crushed all his units. Problem is, all our mobile units are somewhere now. Oh, they're over here, trying to roundabout to get to these archers, and he has a very healthy unit of Wild Riders, but I'm going to charge them with these Spearmen and just try and keep them in place. These guys, I probably should chase these guys off, but they are going to come back, and I think just as they come back, it might stop them. No, luckily we get away from that. We are going to try and move around, be sneaky. We've caught the Spellslinger of Life with these Norscan Ice Wolves, and we are doing some good damage. Then we're going to bring these guys, hopefully trying to get us around and rout. But my opponent sees this with the Dragon, is going to try and fix that. All these guys have shields, so it's not a bad little engagement for us. They are going to be wasting some of those shots. He does bring these Wild Riders around here to clean up these Spearmen. That's not the end of the world. These Brutes of the Hounds have gone rogue after killing these Warrens of Sithril. Meanwhile, my Leadership Corps is over here. I don't know why they're chasing down the final 6 units, but that's okay. We are still charging in, wasting their ammo on units that I really don't care about. I mean, Round Champions I care about, but they have really high armor, and they don't have silver shields. They have bronze shields, but the good thing is these guys don't have the greatest armor-piercing value. We are going to crush these Wild Riders, finally, get them off the field. They're shattered. That's a big win for us. We have these Wolves coming in, trying to grab these Deepwood Scouts. Over here, we've been held up way too long on this Eternal Guard and these Wild Riders. That's unfortunate. We should have started pulling these guys off way long ago, but, you know, everything, hindsight's 20/20, as they say. There's some Marauder Champions coming in here to kill some Eternal Guard. That's going to be good for us. These Wolves are trying to get some damage on here, and they are going to get some kills here, but not enough. The Woods, I think, slowed them down, because they are considered large targets, large entities. They are. And they're not doing as much damage as you would hope against these Deepwood Scouts. It's really not that great. It's kind of lackluster. But they're still firing into them. These trees should help us keep them alive from the fire, but no, and they're doing good damage now, but they are going to flee. If they'd stayed in that fight, they would have crushed them. These War Dancers are going to do okay against, actually do quite well against Marauder Champions, because 80 armor value isn't the highest, and a rear charge with War Dancers is going to be pretty we're going to see that effectiveness of this thing here. So these ladies are going to come in here, and they're going to, they're going to do good damage. They're actually probably going to sway the fight in their favor with that charge. So very good play on my opponent's part. Brutes of the Hound are coming in here trying to kill. We were unable to get rid of this Spellslinger of Life, unfortunately, but we were able to sort of muck things up in the woods. They're going to come in here with a charge from these Wild Riders. I have this big contingent coming over here finally, trying to make its way over here. Gets a nice charge on these Marauders, but that's okay. The Brutes of the Hounds are in there, and they're going to be slicing up everything that's around them. But a Worth Blood is popped, which is a good place for it, 'cause it's going to heal everything in this blob. So good play on my opponent. His Dragon is very healthy. The good thing is they're almost out of ammo, and my Wolves have returned, so I'm able to, use them to be a little scary. So we can see they destroy these Marauder Champions with the help of the Eternal Guard and the War Dancers. So that's not the best. So the the left flank is theirs, and the right flank is mine. My Bale Fiend is still alive. This is the longest I've ever had a Bale Fiend survive, so that's nice. I'm going to start activating these guys at some point. And yeah, we're going to start moving them. I say Marauder Spearmen because they're mixed in there. So we have some Spearmen cleaning up the last of these Eternal Guard. That's going to be a win for us. I don't know what these guys are doing. I'll probably reactivate them at some point. Chasing off. But they are firing into these Marauder Horsemen, which is not the greatest, but we are going to pull these Wolves into their back. Luckily they are hidden, and there's only one unit with the arrows left, so that's nice. We are going to throw some spears into these War Dancers, who of course do not have the greatest armor. In fact, they have pretty poor armor. The 5 Wardens of Sithril are coming back here. Let's look at that. Look at these gangsters. That's pretty cool looking. You cannot deny that's pretty cool looking. These guys are coming back to the fight, the 5 of them, trudging over the corpses of their enemies and their allies alike as we stare off this frozen wasteland. And just, it doesn't look that epic. I was hoping it would look more epic, but these guys look pretty cool. These 5 Lone Rangers. And then the battles, of course, are taking place in the trees. Here comes the Sea Fang. We're just going to see this. Oh, cool. There's little Vikings on the ship. They just come right out, and they're going to bust through these dudes, and these little chains are going to come through and just rip them apart. So that's very, very cool. And we're actually going to kill this this poor Transformer deer. Yeah, he's going down. He's not coming back. And then there's Wulfric with his big old shield just busting through. He's just so much taller than everybody. Gangster. Anyway, so that's a little cinematic action for you. He's going to be able to obviously kill the Eternal Guard with, little trouble. The wolves have come into the back here. We're hitting these Deepwood Scouts, the final ones with arrows, and then I'm going to send these guys in for a nice little charge just to get rid of them because the rest of the units are obviously not scary. Problem is the dragon is very, very healthy, and I have no way to heal. We were able to rout off the Spellsinger of Life, but she's much faster, so she'll just come back. And this guy's nowhere near his healing cap. I'm just hoping they've used a lot of their... He has a nice breath attack in there. I'm hoping they've used a lot of their magic, which I'm sure they have, but still. The good thing is, of course, about this matchup is that, again, the Marauder Berserkers have such high damage and weapon and melee attack, and this guy has pretty low armor, so we'll be able to do actually good damage to him with the Berserkers. I don't know why I got 2 breath attacks right in a row. That was weird. But yeah, so we should be able to do some good damage to him with the Berserkers. You see I get the Hunter of Champions as soon as he lands here, and he does good damage on Wulfric, but at least he's not going to do as much as he could have, and as he's Hunter of Champions, we're going to do some damage. He's going to bring in the Spellsinger of Life, probably trying to break my morale, but that's not going to be a good play. We are going to get a nice surround here with these wolves, and that's going to be, yeah, see that? It's a huge charge. Wow, a lot of damage on those Eternal Guard. He's going to come in again, try and get a nice charge, but now he's going to be frostbitten, so not the best move for him. And we are going to surround them with everything that we have just to try and do some damage. You can see the dragon's holding up pretty decently. He doesn't have that much health, actually, compared to most dragons. I didn't know that. I thought he had about 5,000. I mean, that's just other dragons. But black dragons and moon dragons have much higher health, I guess. But yeah, he's going to be frostbitten. We do have a nice full surround. The balance bar is going much more in his favor than mine, though. But these guys have rampage, so they're going to go crazy. I think they have a good physical resist with that rampage active. What is the physical resist with that rampage active? Let's see here. It is 22, so quite high. But he is bringing back some Eternal Guard. I have some units in the corner here. I'm going to bring back. I have a unit way over here that I forgot about. These Marauder Champions. Or no, I guess they are brought back. Yeah, so I have some units that are coming back in. He's got some units coming back in. So I have some elite units here, Marauder Champions and Berserkers. And his Spellsinger of Life is, of course, going to flee, but she's going to be able to just pull through. And he's going to do a lot of dive bombing with the dragon. So it was about there with the balance bar, but we pulled it back now. Luckily, with some surrounds and some good fighting. He gets a nice pin on, I don't know what's pinned, the Marauder Berserkers, I suppose. He's going to just a nice charge in and charge out, try and free his Spellsinger. Very, very good move, because there's still a lot of healing left to be done on this dragon. He's going to try and hurt Wulfric, but there's only so much he can do against Wulfric. Wulfric has pretty high stats. It's 50. Yeah, and this guy only has 48, so he's not the greatest to fight Wulfric, but he's, of course, going to hit him pretty often, and when he does, he's going to do a ton of damage. But Wulfric's going to give it right back, because he does have high weapon strength. Meanwhile, over here, these Marauder Horsemen are going to throw some javelins in here, just do some damage to these Eternal Guard, why not? He's going to rout off some of my units, but most of them will stay. But yeah, it can go anyone's either way right now. It is in my opponent's favor. He does have a dragon. It's very scary. He does have a healer. I think my Balefiend is dead, as is my modus operandi. My Balefiend is gone. He's going to get some good damage on these Marauder Horsemen. They're going to want to flee, but we were able to crush the remainder of his infantry. We are in the woods. We are getting some units back here, and we're going to put everyone in the woods just to make their charges a little bit more difficult to handle. He sends the Spellsinger in here. Kind of a mistake. We're going to get some good damage on her with every hit. He's going to bring the dragon, try and push through, but we're going to get Hunter of Champions on him, so he's not going to be... He's going to be like pretty much, what is that, 20 armor and 0 melee defense. So every hit's going to land pretty much, and you can see just doing tons of damage. And we're going to get a nice charge in here from this returned Marauder Horseman, hopefully break this Spellsinger. If we can kill the Spellsinger, I'm pretty confident we can get rid of the dragon, and you can see just the damage being done. Oh, and there's cops outside. The police are coming after me for a horrible assault on this dragon, for animal cruelty, because we are just doing absolute devastation to him. So we're going to try and kill him, but we are going to get the Spellsinger here, and once she's gone, that's going to be pretty much it for my opponent, because there's not a lot they can do. The dragon is able to kill most of my army, but there's just a lot of danger here, and he's going to have to try and stop these Marauder Horsemen from chasing her off, because they actually are faster, I want to say, or of equivalent speed, 94, 90, so close enough. He's going to come in here, do some charges, going to try and rout these Berserkers, but it's not going to be enough. Wulfric's going to come in here, he's going to buff himself with who knows what, and we're going to get some good hits on the dragon, and we are going to chase these guys off. These guys have come back, but it's a little too late at this point. We're going to get full surround on the dragon, and her morale is going to drop, and as soon as her morale drops, that's going to be the end of the dragon, and she is going to want to flee. And the animal cruelty ends here. Look at those crazy horns. I love the way the Forest Dragon looks. Very cool model. So Hubert J. Farnsworth, GG to you. Is a fun battle. Yeah, good little time here. So Wolfric, I think, was a good move. Seafang is good in this battle because Seafang, of course, is very effective against infantry, especially unarmored infantry, so it's good against Wood Elves, pretty much anything they can bring. And I think the Silver Shield's helpful in that he won't be shot down, or at least not with as relative ease as most units will be. Of course, he's slow, which is unfortunate, but against the Wood Elves in this kind of build, you're okay with that. And I think, yeah, this is actually not a bad build against Wood Elves. You're just trying to, whenever you fight Wood Elves, you just want to get as many units as you can, just rushing into them, so they can't just hold the line and kill you, and use the mobility advantage against you, because that's what Wood Elves are, right? They're the most mobile faction, most mobile and most ranged generally. So you want to be able to counter that. And I think this is a good little play to counter that. The thing I would say, I'm not sure, Deepwood Scouts perform pretty well, and I think they actually are good in this matchup. Just the Marauder Champions are quite good against Deepwood Scouts because they have decent armor, they have shields. They're not the greatest unit, but they're not terrible. So yeah, they'll be okay. Sith Roll, I think, is a good pick. The Dragon's actually not a bad pick at all. It's not a bad move because you will have air dominance almost certainly, and because there's no reason, if you bring a Frostworm and they bring Way Watchers, that's going to be trouble. Of course, Way Watchers would devastate my units, but of course, you could have brought 2 Way Watchers instead of 3 Deepwood Scouts. Yeah, I think in retrospect, he should have probably brought that because these guys are, what, that's 700 each? Yeah, so you could have brought 2 Way Watchers instead of 3 Deepwoods. That would have crushed these Berserkers. It would have crushed my Brohammer. It would have crushed everything. They're just more accurate. They're better in almost every sense. So yeah, I think in retrospect, my opponent should have done that. Wild Riders, they have a place in this battle for sure. They can be very effective, but you have to be very careful with them. In most matchups, obviously in all matchups, you have to be careful with them because they do have low armor. But in this one especially, due to the strength and devastation that is the Berserkers, you really have to be careful with the Wild Riders because they can get, like I said, on those counter charges you guys saw, they can get devastated. And if they get a counter charge and then they get stuck by these Norsca Ice Wolves, you've just lost a 1,000 spend, and I've lost almost nothing. So it's a risky. It's not risky. You should definitely bring them. It's just you have to be very, very careful. Anyways, that'll be it for us. For me and myself here, rather. I hope you enjoyed this one. I think it's a fun matchup. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to play for the next few months. They're both pretty. They both have a lot of things they can bring against each other, so it'll be fun to see how this works out. I think more infantry-heavy cores for Wood Elves might actually be better, like a lot of War Dancers, because as I said, they do pretty well against Berserkers. So if you can bring a lot of War Dancers and just hold the line and fire into them with some Way Watchers, it can be quite effective. But we'll see as the meta develops. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you around the bend.